What is going on, Nuggets Nation NBA fans? Welcome back into Nuggets Today, presented by FanArch. I am Tom Leuthner. Let's hop into a few topics we have today. So obviously Summer League starts tomorrow. So I wanted to cover a few players that are playing in the Summer League. One player who is on the younger side and is actually not playing in the Summer League this year. But the first person I want to start off with is obviously Holmes. Now he is coming back from an injury, pretty severe injury, missed the entire season. But I did go back and I listened to the post-practice Summer League interviews, and Holmes' interview is a little interesting to me. Now, he said that guys in the locker room are helping him with his mental state when it comes to dealing with the injury, and my immediate thought went to Jamal Murray's injury when he had torn his ACL, and how a veteran guy like Murray can really be a helpful factor in the Holmes saga when it comes to dealing with his injury, especially at such a young age. So I think that it is a great thing to have a guy like Jamal Murray in the locker room. And I know I've had my points against Jamal Murray, especially at the end of the season, beginning of free agency. But having a guy like Murray is definitely great in the locker room for a guy like Holmes, who's obviously dealing with something that was tragic in his first year in the NBA. Another point that was brought up is that Darrell Arthur, former Nuggets forward, is actually helping Holmes get through his injury as well. He also he dealt with the exact same injury, which was an Achilles tear, when he was playing in the NBA. So I think that's a pretty big factor. This is a veteran, or a former veteran in the NBA who was a Denver Nugget and had torn his Achilles throughout his career, or once in his career. And this may help Holmes take the step, because I think there are going to be a lot of nerves for Holmes going into this last game. He has said that he's excited and that he's ready to play and that he's 100%. But if you are a human being and you have an injury that severe, I think anybody understands that there is going to be nerves to go ahead and play that sport again. So I think Darrell Arthur is definitely a massive factor for Holmes' mental health. I was also looking at the entire summer league roster, and obviously Holmes is the number one player that everybody wants to watch. And I'm listening to podcasts, watching some clips, and even himself says that he feels stronger, which is a massive factor, because they are looking to play him at the 4 and 5 and see how he really plays throughout the summer league, where the best fit is for him. But I think him admitting that he put on weight and gaining muscle is a massive factor if Denver is not able to figure out the Jonas news, if that is not obviously reported when this episode is recorded. So I think if Durant can actually be a smaller when it comes to height, but a bigger, more physical 5 is a massive factor for Denver. And if they do have Jonas, him playing a more physical 4 who's able to stretch the floor is also a massive factor. But I also think Jokic can play alongside him. If Gordon needs a break, Durant can come in, be that corner shooter, as well as a massive body who can fly and play bully ball down low. So I think that Durant is going to be a massive key in Denver's season if he does stay healthy. And it was nice sort of hearing that his mental state is a lot better, especially with the guys in the locker room who are helping him, get back on track. Now, the next guy is somebody that I've covered a little bit, and that is Tamar Bates. And I want to hop back into the category of Tamar Bates and go back to Bates, which, same thing, listen to his post-practice interview, and I know these came out a couple days ago, but they are something I wanted to listen to and swirl back around to. And I know that there was so much more news when it came to Jonas Valanciunas, when it came to guys like Tim Hardaway, which is something I'm going to get into in a little while, bringing back Bruce Brown, all the two-way moves like Spencer Jones and Tamar Bates. So the interviews did come out a little while ago, but I did want to go back, fully listen to them, give them my full attention, be attentive. And like I said, I listened to them. There are some interesting points about Tamar Bates' interview. One of those facts is that him, Spencer Jones, and Christian Brown have all known each other since a younger age. Christian Brown specifically, I believe he said they went to middle school together, which is super interesting. And if it wasn't middle school, it was beginning of high school. And now they're all from the same area. They're all from Kansas City. Now, one thing that I think is massive is when they asked Tamar Bates what kind of game he plays, he said he is more of a 3 and D player who can score at all levels on the floor. Now, maybe Christian Braun isn't that exact kind of player, but he's definitely a defensive player when it comes to Denver. He definitely shot well from the three-point line, and he was able to score at all points on the floor last year. So him being able to help Tamar develop is a massive factor, and he can also help him get used to how to play in Denver because of the altitude. So I think that's massive. Like I said, he also thinks knows Spencer Jones since they were younger. Spencer Jones is a guy who just secured another two-way contract, who was able to get some minutes on Denver last year when they needed him. It wasn't many, but we were able to see that in the NBA he could be a semi-decent piece that might be able to get 5 to 10 minutes per game. Now, am I saying that's guaranteed? No, not at all, because it's such a small sample size. But this is another guy who's played in NBA games and is able to help another younger player who's coming out of college right now develop. So, like I said, I think that is super interesting, especially because Christian Braun can help Tamar Bates adjust to the altitude in Denver, learn how to play in, obviously Ball Arena. And another thing about Tamar Bates is when they were speaking to him about what he wants to do, he said that his main focus is being able to put the ball on the floor more and help out the point guard as a secondary ball handler, which is a massive factor for Denver right now, because I know that he's fighting for the two-way, or just got signed to the two-way rather, and Denver's looking for a backup point guard. Now, is he going to be the backup point guard? No, right now it's Jalen Pickett, and I'm willing to give Jalen Pickett the opportunity to play and see what he's all about, because like I said, in the minutes that I've seen, I did not think that he was that good, and I know the community does not like that take. So why not give Pickett those minutes then if you're not going to bring anybody in? And right now, obviously, there's a lack of good point guard depth in free agency. I know there's Damian Lillard, so he's there, obviously. You have guys like Brogdon. You have DeAnthony Melton, but I mean, when it comes to the lack of depth at the point guard position in free agency, I mean more people who Denver aren't targeting at the moment or aren't in any talks to target. So, like I know, again, Brogdon's out there, Lillard's out there, DeAnthony Melton's out there, but I mean more in the sense Chris Paul's out there, but I mean more in the sense of Denver not targeting any of them at the current moment. Now, another player who's making his third appearance in the Summer League, that is Hunter Tyson. Now, another interview I listened to, this is a guy who's technically a veteran in the Summer League now for Denver, was on Denver's roster last year, did get some minutes. I believe he had a couple starts, maybe one or two, and he didn't get many minutes. Now, they were asking him what he wants to do, and obviously he said he just wants to get better in every asset of the game, but his main point was that he wants to be able to be more of a playmaker, be able to put the ball on the floor more, and hit open shots. Now, if Tyson's able to do that, I think he's massive. That's massive for Denver, because if he's able to put the ball on the floor, then you cannot worry about him going in the game and just being a shooter for you. You can actually play him in a lineup with Bruce Brown. Now, am I saying that Hunter Tyson should be the backup point guard? Obviously not. But if he's able to put the ball on the floor, you might see more development from him as a playmaker off the wing than you would see in a guy like Jalen Pickett if he doesn't develop any more than what he's at now. Now, am I saying Hunter Tyson will be better than Pickett? No, I am not. What I am saying is that it could be massive for a shooter like Hunter Tyson to be on the wing and be able to dish it out and be a better playmaker than he is now. Now, talking about shooters on the wing, there's one last topic I want to quickly hop into here, and that is, how can Strother develop this year? Now, I think one massive factor in that will be the addition of, obviously, Bruce Brown and Tim Hardaway Jr. helping Julian Strother develop his game. Now, we know, I know the community, and I think it's funny because Julian Strother, in the minutes I saw in OKC, actually played great defense in the playoffs, and I know the community bashes him for his lack of defense. And I think Bruce Brown can be a major factor in helping him develop that. Now, when it comes to his offensive game, you cannot tell me that Tim Hardaway Jr. would not be a massive veteran to help him develop his game when it comes to the offensive side. Bruce Brown may be too, but this is a guy who made his entire career off being able to hit open jumpers, especially at the wing in the corner. Playing alongside Jokic, Strother already knows how to do that, but if you have a guy like Tim Hardaway Jr. who can help him stay consistent, help him keep his mind right, and help him develop his jumper even more, then I think Denver is in a fantastic situation. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today, Nuggets Nation. I will catch you guys tomorrow, and let's go Nuggets. Like I said, Summer League starts tomorrow, so hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, let me know what you guys want me to cover, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.